Welcome everybody to the Raw recap. As always, it is the Drip King to me, baby. I am here to give you the haps on what happened tonight on the Monday Night Raw. So tonight, I'll just go ahead and get it out the way right quick. If for whatever reason I feel I seem a little off tonight, I might be battling through a concussion here, just to give a little heads up on it. But I threw on my Cody shirt. I'm gonna muscle my way through it, and hopefully I can get to the end before I go night night, sleepy sleepy goodbye. So without further ado, let's go on to the show. Before we get there, hello Jimmy Baby, my name is Courtney Rock in the house. So yes, the concussion came from Amanda. She slammed me today. She tried to steal my belt, but she didn't get it. I took it. Hey babe, bring me that belt. Why? Because I run my mouth too much, Tidy. That's pretty much all the shit you see me talking on a daily. That doesn't stop off Twitter. It's life. The show begins. Tidy repping the honorary Oos audience. We got the honorary Oos up in here. Thank you for joining, Tidy. Good to see you tonight. Good to see you, David. Good to see you, babe. Thank you for joining. But now we'll go to the show. Never. I will never rest. I've had one before. This one ain't nearly as bad. I don't even know if I have it. I have a lot of the symptoms of it, and I hit my head pretty hard today. So we shall see. But thank you. And I can take you. I did take you, and that was the end of that. But so this was. I see a lot of people complain about Raw tonight, and I'll go ahead and I'll entertain it. I'll say tonight's Raw was a bad go-home show for Survivor Series. But if this wasn't a go-home show of Raw, I think it was a really good episode of Raw. I think the only problem is, again, it was a go-home show. So we tend to expect a little bit more. And then also, I'll get to the rest later, but I think that's the biggest complaint from me. And what I'm trying to wrap my head around why people weren't enjoying it is because, again, we tend to expect a little bit more when it comes to a go-home show, and that's not what we got tonight. We just got kind of a normal show of Raw. But again, I enjoyed it. But now we'll go to the show. Sorry, I've said this 3 times. I'm for real this time. We go into the show. Kevin Owens kicks off. He comes out. I think people forget this man was on Raw. I've heard a few people talk about like SmackDown. No, he's a Raw guy, so it made sense. Hello, Frank. Thank you for joining. I don't think I've seen you in the chat before, so thank you for joining me. I hope you stay around. Hope you become a regular. Say whatever you got on your mind, man. Let's get chalking in the chat. Let's make it happen, man. But thank you for joining. War Games promo to start. Script a bit rough to lead a nice match. Brutes and Drew coming through the crowd. Really like, yeah. So yeah, that was a very cool thing. I'll get to that. So Kevin Owens comes out and he talks about War Games. He says, I know a lot of people think I'm doing this because of Sammy. I'm not doing it for Sammy. I love Sammy like a brother. He's my number one guy. But I'm coming after Roman because his 1, 2, and 3 matches that they had together, I pushed him to his limits. And in my personal opinion, I think it was Roman's best matches. Story not involved. Obviously, the Jey Uso match was. But the matches that Roman had with Kevin Owens were spectacular. So he wasn't lying when he said that. Then he said he didn't come alone. He brought some friends to enjoy the festivities for the evening. And then out comes the Brutes and Drew McIntyre through the crowd, just like the Shield. It was a nice little call, as David pointed out. Very interesting thing there. They came out and they started running their mouths. And then Judgment Day. Judgment Day, I love. They're almost like the gatekeepers of Monday Night Raw. If you show up on Raw and you ain't with them, they are definitely going to come and get your butt. I like it. I wish they would win a little bit more of these things, like tonight's, but I still like it. It tells me that like they take their role as the number one faction on Raw very seriously. You come into Raw, you have to come through us. I like that. So they come out. Rhea makes a little nod at her War Games match, and then Finn says, I'm calling out AJ. He said some nice little things about AJ. Basically, you know, he's been stealing from me for years, and now I'm coming to tax his ass. Nice line. I like that one. So that then ended up leading to a 3-3, the Brutes versus the Judgment Day to start off the show. Not mad at that. Kevin Owens on commentary. Never going to be mad at that. We're off to the races. The match itself, not a terrible match. I think 2 commercial breaks kind of hurt it a little bit. I think this is better off. It would have been served better as a pay-per-view match, but it is what it is. The match wasn't bad. Kevin Owens on commentary was really entertaining. The best part, Dom tried to basically run away at one point. Sheamus chased him, but as he got to the entrance ramp, out comes the OC to basically block Dom from going literally anywhere. He gets sent back to the ring. Sheamus ends the match, hits him with a brogue kick. Dom sells it. That's third chef's kiss I'm giving tonight, and that was a very good sell by Dom. He needs to get his flowers for that because it was a really good job. He took the pin, 1, 2, 3. Judgment Day takes a loss. Boo that, but Sheamus gets to look strong, so it makes sense. I'm not mad at it. I enjoyed it. It's a very good opening bout, 7.5 out of 10. That's fair. Again, I think it lacked. I think the 2 commercial breaks made it lack just a little bit. It kind of took me out of it a little bit, but it wasn't bad. Ridge and Dom still need some work. Ridge is done. I don't think Ridge should even be getting a chance at this point. Sorry, Ridge. I'm not trying to hate. I just don't see it with you. And you've injured someone very severely. I think, and he's injured himself pretty badly. He shouldn't be in these spots. I hate it that he is, but it is what it is, and there's nothing I can do about it. Dom has been improving, though, significantly. The growth that he's shown since joining Judgment Day is twice as much as he did the entire time he was with Ray. So I'm liking what I'm seeing of Dom. I hope he can get it all together. I hope he can prove me wrong when I said that once Ray's gone, I think Dom he'll be on borrowed time. I hope Dom can prove me wrong because what I'm seeing, I like from him. We'll see. A Finn versus Sheamus or Drew or Dunn or Owens would be an excellent program. All the above. And I like that. I think Judgment Day needs to be getting these wins so that Finn can be in position to have those kind of feuds and he can win those feuds. If Judgment Day sucks, he's not going to win those feuds and I'm not going to care to see them. I want to see Finn win them because Finn's that good and he deserves it. Ridge is your lower mid-card big guy. He should be the kind of mid-card guy that we look at as a brute, but he never wins. And he never gets crazy opportunity. What Mustafa Ali is going through right now, I would not be mad if it was happening to Ridge Holland. I'll put it that way. But yeah, great open. It was not a great open match. The opening segment and match, the transition between one and the other was done really well. I enjoyed it. It's a good way to start off the show for a take-home show, a go-home show. And that's what I was like, okay, they're off on the right path. And then it just kind of went flat. But Johnny Gargano, he's up next. He's being interviewed. He's talking about The Miz and Dexter. He goes, Dexter ain't going to help me because I'm not going to help Dexter. We stay out of each other's business. I'm just here to help him out in the meantime. And I'm going to avenge my loss from The Miz a few weeks ago because he knew he couldn't out-wrestle me, so he had to cheat, and he did, but that's not going to happen this time. Match comes up. Gargano goes out. He has new music. I saw some people hating on it. Shush! It's not a big deal. It's still the song. It's remixed. It's still a banger. It fits Johnny. It's okay. Stop you bitching. So Johnny gets out and he's waiting. Miz comes out. He's got the Miz TV microphone. He's dressed in a suit. This hand is bandaged. Sorry, guys. I can't wrestle. I hurt myself doing a TikTok. Of course he did, Miz. But he says, I know that Johnny Gargano loves to wrestle, though. So I found him an opponent. Sorry. I got to take care of this real quick. So it's like, who is the opponent going to be? I was interested myself. I was like, it's for sure going to be Alpha Academy because they're usually the people in these positions. And boy, oh boy, was I surprised when it was none other than the big man, Omos. I'm a bigger fan than Omos than most people are. I think he still has work to do, but I love him in these positions because when he got in that ring with Johnny Gargano, the size difference was astronomical. It was a sight to see. And I'm like, okay, Johnny, how are you going to make this one entertaining? Work your magic, baby. And Johnny did what he could. It was a short match. They didn't let this one hang around too long. Good deal. Johnny got some offense in. He had to jump to get some forearms in. That was funny. He gave it his all. Miz ended up interfering just for that little bit, just to distract Johnny. And then that double hand choke, Omos went for that. How high he had Johnny Gargano. His arms were fully extended. It was crazy how high he had Johnny here. Johnny fought out, got out, but in the end, he ended up getting choke slammed, and he lost to Omos. Good. A lot of people were like, well, that's nonsense. Omos sucks, and Johnny Gargano's our guy, Mr. Johnny Wrestling. It works. the size difference. I'm looking at that as like Omos would squash this man like this, that quick. And that's what we got. So I'm glad that happened. The Johnny Gargano story will come. But for now, what happened tonight was great. I like it. That's how I want to see Omos used in the future. I think it works. So that was a good part of the show. What didn't take up too much time. Johnny Gargano got on there. The Miz story continued, and Omos got to come in, get a squash, and then he can go away for 2 or 3 weeks and come back and do it again whenever they need him in this position. We got Roik Havazal, Jimmy Bay. Thank you for joining. Good to see you, bud. But yeah, I hope that's what the plan is for Omos at this point. Just bring him in these situations and then just have him disappear for a few weeks where he can be working on the in-ring stuff. I think that's the best way to do it. But after that, we go to they announced Theory versus Rollins. Hold on, what we got here? Gargano versus Miz or not? Omos. This was really pointless. No, it wasn't pointless. It continued the story, and it showed Miz finally getting one up on Johnny because Johnny has had his number. So Miz said, "Guess what? I got you." So, and he's been losing other matches. This isn't the first time he's lost. He's lost. He lost to Miz. He lost to Otis, and I think he's lost to someone else. So it's not bad that he's losing. Because, again, I don't think there's anything for Johnny right now. I think when Tommaso comes back, you're going to get DIY, and that's going to be Johnny's thing, and then the breakup will happen, and then Johnny's journey begins. For now, he's just kind of floundering. The Miz story, it made sense. Miz is like, I finally got one over on Johnny. And then Johnny or Dexter can beat Miz next week, and then Johnny can avenge his loss against the Miz, and everything's good and dandy. That's what I see happening. I don't think it was pointless at all. But Theory versus Rollins versus Bobby Lashley for the United States title at Survivor Series has been announced. Thank you. I like that. Then we go into a Rollins interview where he basically talks about, I asked for this match because I want to take out 2 birds with 1 stone. And then he referenced none other than the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. The timing of this is really interesting because Cody Rhodes' wife says, yo, he looks good to me. I'm not a doctor. She's not, but he looks good to me. And this is a week after Cody Rhodes teased his little suitcase on his little Snapchat or Instagram. So I don't know which one it was. I just saw the screenshot of it, teasing that he's packing his bags and he's getting ready to go again. I don't think, depending on who the 5th member of Team Bianca is, I don't think it's crazy to think that we might see Cody Rhodes this weekend. I'll leave it at that, though. There's not that much into it. I just think him referencing him was very interesting. We shall see. If Sasha returns or Becky returns, I don't think Cody returns too. That would just kind of kill the other one. And you don't do that at Survivor Series. You can do it at Royal Rumble. It works at Royal Rumble. We expect it. But at Survivor Series, you don't do those 2 big returns like that. You don't do it. So we shall see where it goes from there. But if that does happen, that means we're going to get Cody Rhodes and Seth Rollins again. And that is not something that I am interested in seeing. Sorry. They're good matches, but we saw the end. They don't need to wrestle again. But after Rollins' interview, Theory comes on the Titantron. I guess we're still calling it that. That's what I'm going to call it to the day I die. But Theory cuts a nice little promo talking about this ain't the same kid y'all know from before. And he means it. He's serious. You buy it from him. It could very well just be just that. I'm piecing multiple things together, and sometimes I get excited over things like this, and I jump the gun. We shall see. Again, I think it really just depends on who that 5th member is. If it's Sasha, there's no way they're going to bring back Sasha and Cody in the same night. It just wouldn't. One's going to overshadow the other. But if they announce that 5th member as like Candace or Beth, I might be buying into the Cody Rhodes thing just a little bit. I'm starting this rumor right now. So if it happens, I told you first. But Theory gave a nice promo. But then Theory comes out and he has a match against Mustafa Ali. And I mentioned this earlier, where I think Ridge Holland would be perfect in the Mustafa Ali situation. The only difference is Mustafa Ali puts on really, really good matches and loss. Tonight was no different. He made Austin Theory look like $1 million. Mustafa Ali made himself look like $1 million in the loss. Austin Theory obviously plays a part in that because Austin Theory is awesome. He ends up winning it cleanly, Obviously, Mustafa Ali is selling an injury to his ribs, so that played a part into the when he hit the 450 splash. He couldn't pin Austin because he hurt himself, and then Austin was allowed to come back from that, and then that's when he came in, A-Town down, 1, 2, 3. He wins. So the match was done to perfection. I really enjoyed it. Again, Austin Theory in my match of the night 2 weeks in a row. Not surprised, though. The kid is awesome. Seth promo setting up a three-way. The match should be excellent. Absolutely. It will be awesome. After the match, Theory looked like he was about to go ahead and go all Ziggler on Mustafa Ali and just completely obliterate this kid too. But then Bobby Lashley came up on the Titantron. He said, "Hey, Theory, you got my attention. How about this? You stay in that ring and I'll come down and see you. If you want to talk bad, you could talk bad to my face." Commercial break, come back. Mustafa Ali is gone, and Bobby Lashley is on his way out. Theory is waiting for him. This kid ain't playing around no more. Bobby said, "I'm impressed. I figured you would have run. You'd been gone by now, but you seem to be pretty stupid." And he starts slowly walking down. And then Theory gets on the mic and just, he's a natural. He is a natural at this shit. It's so good. He didn't cut Bobby down, but he let it be known like, "Hey, Bobby, you ain't shit, bud. You've been doing this. You've been doing that. You losing just like me. I didn't screw up any cash in. Everybody in this building knows whether they want to boo me or cheer me. I'd be United States champion right now if it wasn't for you, and that's facts." So a three-way makes perfect sense here. Everything about this program, I love it. And the best part about this is I literally have no clue who to pick here. Obviously, Seth Rollins should be the favorite, but again, I just don't know because it's been done so well. I'm really looking forward to it. Awesome with some Ospreay Omega moves. MJ, this brutal side theory will work. It'll distance him from the Cena comparisons. Fine match. So the story of where they're going with both guys. I gotta give it a higher score than that. You gave the opening 7.5. I gotta give this one 8.5. I'm giving the opening 7.5. That's me though. I will say you said he's using moves from. I saw Omega, and maybe I've never noticed before, but I've been watching Omega matches. It's not like Okada where I don't see shit. I watch Omega matches. I've never seen him pull out that move that Austin Theory been doing. He took that one from Theory because he knows Theory the future. I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. I've never seen Omega do it though. Maybe it was a New Japan thing. But the vicious side of Austin Theory is awesome. 100% is awesome. It's a much better presentation of him than the previous thing. I was a fan of the previous one. I thought it was fun, but this one is significantly better. They might as well just give Ali an Everlast weight belt, but where he's now WWE's punching bag. He is. And to that, I want to say one thing that's going to end up being multiple things. I see everyone complaining when WWE does 50-50 booking. Like, oh, 50-50 booking, you can't do shit right. When they do disqualifications or countouts, they're like, you can't have clean wins on WWE. It's bullshit. Well, now they're kind of doing that. And people are bitching. Oh, you're burying this guy. Well, if you want them to not do 50-50 booking and you want them to have clean losses, somebody's got to lose. So, does it suck for Mustafa Ali? Yeah. Is there something coming out of this? Possibly. I don't know. Maybe they're just punishing him for running his mouth on Twitter a few months ago. I ain't in agreement with it, but maybe that's what it is. Maybe there's something more to it. We shall see. Mustafa Ali is all over the television lately, though. So it's not a terrible thing. And it's not like he's just getting squashed. He's having good matches. But enough of that. I do find that interesting that no matter what they do here, it's always going to be something to just poke at. Like, oh, well, you're doing this. Well, if I do the other thing, you're mad. So let me do this thing because it's not these two. And you're still mad. They can't win. But it's funny you bring up Mustafa Ali as the punching bag because a brawl ensues between Austin Theory and Bobby Lashley. Austin Theory escapes. He hits Bobby with a chair. Bobby no-sells it. Did not like that at all because it kind of weakens the whole vicious side of Austin Theory. It's like, come on, man. He was punching him and Bobby was feeling him. He took a chair shot and he's like, no, son. I didn't like that. Austin then runs away. Again, makes him look weak as opposed to the vicious side that we all loved the last 2 weeks prior to this very moment. Runs to the back. Bobby chases him. We get to the back. Mustafa Ali is still in the area. So Austin Theory throws Mustafa Ali at Bobby Lashley and runs. And then Bobby Lashley just goes ahead and takes his frustrations out on Mustafa Ali and beats his ass down, puts him in the hurt lock, makes him pass out, and then that's the segment. So poor Mustafa Ali to an extent, but again, he is getting much more shine now. He's involved with things. Hopefully something's coming out of it, and it's not just like, hey, we don't like you, kid, so we're just gonna have you get your ass whooped every week. But we will see. We will see. Next up, and that segment was a lot. It was a very long segment. It was the most I wrote for anything on the show, but it was a good segment. I enjoyed it. Theory looked good. He's getting ragdolled. He is getting ragdolled, but he's also injured. So if he's injured and he's getting attacked, then he should kind of be getting ragdolled. It's just showing his fighting spirit. Will it come with any? I don't know. I honestly don't know. I can't picture it coming with anything because they've never really done with anything with Mustafa Ali in the beginning. And I don't know if there's anything for him. I will hope there is. And I hope something comes of this. We'll see, though. I can't come up with it. So we're just going to have to wait and see. Next up, we get Alpha Academy versus the team of Riddle and Elias. This is my least favorite part of the show because I look back at where Riddle was months ago. Even before the Rollins thing, he was awesome. He was in great positions. And this was after Randy. Like the Roman Reigns title shot he had was awesome. Riddle was just on fire, and now he's reduced to this. It's not a knock on Alpha Academy because if you watch the shows, you know anything about me. I love Alpha Academy. Thank you. They are awesome. I don't even hate Elias. I got Elias Funko Pop up there. I love Elias. Riddle is above this shit, though. He should not be a part of this. I really hope Randy comes back very, 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 very soon. And if he's not coming back very soon, I hope they just go ahead and, all right, well, let's just scrap the whole Riddle Randy thing and let Riddle go off and start doing other superstar things because this ain't with it. It's just not with it. Alpha Academy should be in the mix for tag titles, not a comedy act. Riddle should be in the world. Exactly. Riddle should be in the world title picture, not a comedy act with the talent they have. And I'll say this about Alpha Academy. Alpha Academy cannot be in the tag title picture right now because of who the tag team champions are. The second we get those tag titles off the Usos, they will be right back in the mix for the tag. I have no doubt about it. I have no doubt they will because they were doing this comedy act as the tag champs earlier this year, and it worked. So they could just do it again. And they just got to get the titles off Usos before it happens. But the match was nothing special. It was just what it was. Riddle and Elias did have some decent chemistry. There was a little bit of slop to this. Gable looked awesome as always. Otis, my man, he looked good as always. Riddle does what he does. Elias, I'm seeing more of Elias now than I had previously, and I'm liking it. I just don't like the Riddle and Elias pairing. It is silly AF. And then in the end, I'm just going to call them the band because that's why they're together. They want to form a band. The band won when they did like multiple tags. Bam, 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 bam. And there you go. No. That wouldn't be a bad match, but no. Sammy ain't going nowhere near them tag titles until he wins the Universal title. You heard what I said. I'm shunning everybody that disagrees with me until I'm wrong. When I'm wrong, I'll go ahead and start listening to this tag title theory bullshit. Until then, Sammy ain't going to know the tag titles. He's going to be the Universal Champion. You'll see. Anyway, from there, we go backstage. JBL, Baron Corbin, they're playing poker yet again. And they're blah, 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 blah. They're talking. And then Drew McIntyre walks up. And another part of the show I'm not a fan of because Drew McIntyre isn't a Raw guy. He was there for the opening thing, and that was fine because we're selling War Games. He has no reason to be fighting Baron Corbin tonight. No reason. The match itself was pretty good. It wasn't much. It was, I would say, same quality as the one at WrestleMania. The one at WrestleMania wasn't that good to begin with. It was okay. It was a match that they had that I enjoy. I'm not going to remember it. I'm not going to brag about it. It was just a match that happened. This one at the end, what happened? Baron Corbin, Drew McIntyre was going for the Claymore, and then JBL stomped up the stairs to distract Drew. So then Drew looked back, that split second, turned around, came in, tried for the Claymore. Baron Corbin, never seen him do this. He just like kind of laid on the ground, and Drew flew over his head. Baron started getting the upper hand here. He ended up hitting deep 6 on at one point. Then, from out of nowhere, Akira Tozawa, who is no longer a ninja, that's kind of a good idea. That's a good thing for Akira. Shows up. His hair is dyed blonde. I vaguely remember this being a thing before. I don't remember 100%. Maybe I'm just in shock of seeing it, that I'm like trying to make that a thing. But I think it was at one point where he had his hair dyed. But anyway, he takes JBL's hat and he runs off. JBL runs after him. Corbin's like, what the hell's going on? And then he runs into a Claymore and Drew McIntyre wins. So all this build we've been doing for Drew over the past few weeks just gets steamrolled by Drew McIntyre because he was on Raw tonight instead of being on SmackDown where he belongs. And they just had to force him into a match and have Baron Corbin lose. It's not a smart idea, in my opinion. The match, again, it wasn't a bad match. It's fine for a TV match. I just don't like seeing Drew on Raw when he's clearly a SmackDown guy. Again, the opening segment was fine. They're selling War Games. Having a match in another segment later in the show that has nothing to do with War Games, very, very silly. I don't get it. The point of JBL going with Corbin was to get Corbin over, not JBL. Exactly. And I've been saying this to everybody. Corbin just seems like fodder. Like he's not the gimmick. JBL's the gimmick, and he's kind of just he's JB. He is the JBL as what Virgil was to the $1 Million Man or Vincent, whatever we're called. It was Virgil. Vincent was NWO. That's what Corbin is to me right now, and that's a damn shame. It is a damn shame. Corbin with we just don't care at all. I care. I don't think right now, yes. Prior to this, no. He always had good heat. I don't care what anyone says. They can try and spin it any way they want. He had heat like, yo, this dude's an idiot. I hate this dude. And that was his job. He was doing good. This ain't working. It ain't working. Everyone was excited for it. And I was like, yeah, it could be good, but it could be what we got. And what we got sucks because JBL is the attraction and Corbin is just the Virgil. Get rid of that shit. Corbin and Drew, a matchup pretty much everyone wanted to remain dead after it finally finished at Mania. They gave us one more match. I wouldn't even say it's 4-10. I'd give it a little bit more than that, but it was nothing bad. I guess 5, maybe 5.5. It was nothing special, but again, for a TV match, I'm okay with it. I don't think we need to have all these grand, awesome matches on TV every week. It kind of takes away from the pay-per-view when we get awesome shit at the pay-per-view. That's always been my motto. Less is more. Have matches like this, I'm fine with it. But they have to be on the same show. They're not on the same show. Don't do that shit. They're not a fan of that. Not a fan of it. And I'm going to be a lot more vocal about it because recently it kind of has gotten a little bit out of hand. You got to keep the brands separate. That's what the brand split's for. Keep them separate. Anyways, the OC, they get interviewed next and they're just talking about Finn Balor. Then Finn Balor comes up and he said, I am the devil. And when you dance with the devil, you don't dance again. I know everyone's going to enjoy that line because Finn isn't the devil. There's someone else that's the devil. I don't care that he said the line. I think it's funny. A lot of other people probably are going to find it funny. Someone is the devil instead, whatever. Then it turns into a brawl. The fight happened and they went out into the parking lot. Priest ended up smashing the door on Luke Gallows. I love that because I don't like Luke Gallows and see him get smashed with the door is always fun. And that's it. It was a parking lot brawl, and that was it. Dundada. Rhea Ripley, kicked the shit out of Mishin. Her name is Mia Yim. Will now be going as Mishin, but I don't know because they were also calling her Mia Yim at times. So we'll see. But Mishin, I think, means crazy in Korean. So I don't care. The name changes as long as they're not cringy ass names. I don't care. But Finn Balor is a devil too. Bunch of evil motherfuckers around everywhere. Again, it don't bother me. If it works and it goes with, who cares? I don't. I have no issue with that. Playing on actual events is a good thing. You should always play on actual. You definitely should be playing on actual events. It gives it a sense of realism. The sense of realism that a lot of people don't play into, and it kind of that's why they don't get over. But anyway, time for the main event. It is, before we get to the main event, Bianca, Asuka, and Alexa come out and they cut a promo on War Games and they said Mishin's with us too, but she ain't here now. And when they get there's a lot of people that are trying to join my team, but when we finally pick our 5th member on SmackDown, which is a great idea because Two things that Raw, even when the Vince McMahon era was missing big time, was cliffhangers to keep me tuning in next week, and storylines that transition from show to show to show to show that make me say, okay, they're doing this next. I have to tune in so I know. Give me a reason to turn to SmackDown to follow this storyline. If you're going to announce your fifth member on SmackDown, I'm tuning in. If you don't announce on SmackDown, Bianca, I'm going to smack the shit out you, though. Straight up. You told me you were going to tell me on SmackDown, so you should tell me on SmackDown. If I tune in and I don't get it, I'm going to be mad. But I like that they do that. They should do that more often. But then Team Bayley comes out and she goes, nobody wants to team with you. Nobody respects you. The only people that are on your team, they're on your team because they want to get close to you, because they want to shot that title, because nobody respects you. My girls have handled them girls time and time again. You saw what Rhea did to Misha in the back, Mia Yim, whatever we're going to call her. You don't stand a chance, Bianca. And then Asuka gets on the mic and she does what she does, entertaining as shit. Love it, love it, love it. Calls Rhea Ripley. Rhea Ripley again. Let's go, Asuka. Main event time. Rhea Ripley versus Asuka. Thank you. That's what I want to see. Of the few matches these ladies have had, let's see before we go to that. OG Judgment Day mini dust up. NXT parking lot gets called up and is renamed the Open Air Cup. I'm okay with it. It doesn't bother me. These people are bound to run into each other in the back, so they should be fighting in the back if they have legit beef. It makes sense to me. I'm literally beyond the point of carrying on the name change anymore. It's just a thing that's going to happen. And again, as long as it's not a stupid name, I don't think anybody should really care. They're still referencing her as Mia Yim, so it's not like they've changed her name. I think she just has she's just going to go by something different. We still know her as Mia Yim, but she's crazy, loco, SA, whatever we want to call it. She's part of the OC. She's crazy. That's fine with me. I don't care. Becky back on Friday. Becky's coming back at the Royal Rumble, and I'm going to be there in the audience so y'all can hear me go crazy. Stop taking these moments from me, WWE. Becky and Cody both need to be saved for the Rumble. That's my word. That's what I say about it. Rhea Ripley and Asuka match. Again, I was saying, they've had a few matches in the past. The WrestleMania one last year being one of them. This was their best match by far, because before they had zero chemistry. Tonight, they had plenty of chemistry. Rhea Ripley looked like a boss tonight. Like the kind of girl. Bianca should have been watching this match going like, oh no, because she knows what's coming. She should know that Rhea Ripley is coming for that ass, and there's nothing that Bianca is going to be able to do to stop her. WrestleMania, please, Rhea Ripley and Bianca Belair. Let this one just marinate. Let us get it at WrestleMania. Give them girls that moment. It's going to be awesome. I cannot wait for it. But Rhea Ripley looked just unstoppable tonight. Every time Asuka tried to fight back, Rhea was right there just to slap her back down. It was awesome. Asuka looked like the fighting baby face, and Rhea Ripley just looked like the heel that was too much for anybody to handle. That's the most intimidating woman in all wrestling. I know we got Jade. She's a physical specimen. Rhea Ripley, intimidating AF. She looks the part and she acts the part. She's the full package, the real deal. Rhea Ripley is going to be such a superstar in the future. Such a superstar. And Rhea Ripley won here. I believe it was clean. I walked out, came back in at one point, and I saw that the girls had joined at ringside, so I don't know if they got involved. But I do know that Asuka turned something into an armbar, and then Rhea Ripley, she had an ankle lock at one point, and Rhea Ripley just kind of stood up, not no selling, but she stood up and then picked Asuka up and slung her. And it was like, Jesus, she just looks like a beast. And then she hits the riptide on Asuka. Asuka gets beat 1, 2, 3. Then afterwards, a brawl happens. Of course it does. They all get laid out from a top rope thing, and then that's the match. So that was the show. It's not a good go-home show. I'm not going to defend it at all. I understand if you're judging it on a go-home show and you're saying it was a bad show, okay, I'll listen to that. I don't think it was a terrible show, though. If it was not a go-home show, I think it was fine. Again, the one thing I always pay attention to, I think their chemistry was much better tonight. It's not perfect, but it's much better tonight. If you were to watch the WrestleMania 37 match and then watch this match tonight, you'd be like, okay, big difference. Rhea Ripley wrestles a little differently too. I think that plays into it, but big difference. I enjoyed their match tonight. I can't say that about any of their other matches they've had. Rhea would have been a right at home on the this weekend. Rhea Ripley versus Jamie Hayter. Give me that match. I think those two girls would beat the shit out of each other. That would be awesome. Asuka versus Rhea. Really good hard-hitting match with Ripley showing off her strengths. This is how you do a women's match in WWE. Yes, absolutely. Everything about this match was awesome. I enjoyed the match. I hate that I had to get up and I missed that little part. I don't know. I don't think anything significantly happened. I didn't hear anything on the commentary where they're like, oh, someone's getting involved. So XXX69.biz. I am muting and booting you, baby. We don't got time for that shit in here. They hit hard over there. Yeah, I know. I've seen a few of them. I've heard the people talking about it. But yeah, Rhea Ripley versus Jamie Hayter. That's officially my new match that I want to see in the women's division between women that can't wrestle each other because they're separate. Give me that one. Rhea Ripley versus Jamie Hayter. That shit would fucking slap so hard. But again, that's the show. Not a terrible show. Bad go-home show, though. I'm still pumped for Survivor Series. They gave us a new match for Survivor Series, which is good because I think there was 4 announced. 5 is fine because the War Games matches are going to be long. There's no traditional Survivor Series match, which I guess could change by SmackDown. They could just add one, which I'd be completely okay with. Give me 6 matches. Give me a traditional Survivor Series match, please, on top of the War Games matches and the Women's Championship match. And what was the other? Oh, dang. Finn and AJ. The card looks great as of right now. Throw in one more Survivor Series, a little 5-on-4, something. Just give me one more thing. Be the opening to the show to make it feel like a traditional Survivor Series pay-per-view, and I'll be happy. I get the feeling that Asuka is going to first because she is still. I don't think Asuka. Alexa's the weak link. Alexa is the weak link here. I would like to see Bianca step in that cage first, though, because Bayley called her out and says, "You sending Asuka to do the bidding when you're the champion. You're not a real champion. You're not a fighter." So I hope that goes into the War Games, and Bianca says, "No, I got first," and she goes in and goes the distance. I think that makes sense based on what happened tonight. If they do it, good job on y'all. If y'all don't, it's not that big of a deal. But Asuka is the best of that side. Yes, absolutely, 100%. I agree with that. 100%. Asuka has never gotten her respect on that main roster that she deserves. She's so good. How you say Jamie Hayter, Jordan Grace, and Rhea Ripley. Give me that triple threat. There you go. Even better. That match that'd be. Talk about beefy man slapping meaty man slapping meat. You talking about girls? That would be the equivalent for the girls because those 3 girls would just beat the holy piss out of each other. It would be awesome. Make that match happen, wrestling gods. But yes, Survivor Series. I'm very pumped for Survivor Series. I'm at a 10 at this point. I like the triple threat they added. It's awesome. And everything else on the card so far is awesome. I'm looking forward to it. The show's going to be awesome. Bianca, if you lied to me about SmackDown, we're going to have some words because I wasn't going to watch SmackDown. And I don't even know if I'm still going to watch SmackDown. I might tune into the end just to see what happens. But if I don't find out who the 5th member is, I will never trust a word that woman says again. I think it's Sasha Banks, though. I'm sticking to the Sasha Banks theory. It's definitely Sasha Banks. That's my word. If it's Becky, oh, fuck it. I'm still on my Royal Rumble ticket. Don't get to watch Becky. But anyway, that's the show. Thank you for joining me. As always, thank you for checking it out. You will catch me again, probably not till Sunday on the Drip King Wrestling channel, where I do the Positively Awesome podcast with Tidy. But Wrestle Buddy has got you covered this week. Thursday on Thanksgiving, for those who do celebrate Thanksgiving, we're going to be doing the prediction show for Survivor Series, where they'll predict the 5, maybe 6 matches. Hopefully, again, they give us a Survivor Series match. If not, it'll just be the 5. I know everywhere else in the world, I don't think they celebrate Thanksgiving. It's just us. But that will be on Thursday. The show has potential. It has the potential to be WWE's best show of the year. And that's saying something because I think WWE has had a lot of great shows this year. I really do believe that. The second half of the year, the pay-per-views have really kind of amped it up. They've been really good. I think this one is going to blow it out of the water. I think this is going to be Triple H's like crowning moments for his first half of the year. Survivor Series. Pumped. Damn straight, Tidy. Damn straight. Becky Friday. She stays on SmackDown thereby. No. She wins the Royal Rumble when she shows up, and then she just goes to SmackDown because she challenges Ronda Rousey. Is it predictable? Yes. Is it what I want to see? Yes. So I don't care. But WrestleBite, like I said, prediction show on Thursday. Then on Saturday, they're doing a watch along as well as doing live coverage. So if for whatever reason you can't watch it, check out the WrestleBuddy.com and the Invisible Hand, our good buddy Tyler, everybody's favorite WrestleBuddy, and then myself. Tyler's the favorite, not me. I wasn't plugging myself, but myself, the Drip King. We will be giving you the live coverage. So if you have to just read up on it, we got you covered there. Sunday, we'll be back with the news pod. I may or may not be there. If I'm not, there's plenty of other people that will be there to entertain you. So check that out. But again, I will definitely be back on my channel, the Drip King of Wrestling, for next Sunday night, the Positively Awesome podcast, where we will probably just be going over how awesome Survivor Series was. If Survivor Series ends up sucking, I will come up with something off the top of my head. But I don't see that happening. Anyways, I'm rambling as I was talking about the other night. It's just what I do at the end because I don't know how to end these things, but I will end it now. Thank you guys for joining me once again. Much love to all, and I hope you have a great evening. Peace.